All right, welcome back to Rob Chronicles. I wanted to go over this time with you guys how much contempt and hate and mad the Utah representatives are that we did that referendum on their tax law. So they're crying like a bunch of babies. And we got Speaker Representative Gibson and Brad Wilson. And I think Brad is the Speaker of the House. Um, the Speaker of the House is the one that decided to call his constituents stupid over the referendum, and uh, Mr. Gibson's just kind of gone along with it. Both of them are in cahoots over that tax bill. So, anyway, I ran across this article from Facebook, and it's Jeff Birmingham's response to Representative Gibson on tax reform, and I think he's spot on. And if you don't know who Jeff Birmingham is, he is a candidate for Utah governor, and I've checked him out a little bit. He seems like he's pretty dialed in and knows knows his stuff. So he might be a good candidate to look at for governor. I kind of want to stay even-handed on whether I endorse anybody or not because we're just starting, and so I kind of just want to be even-handed. But yeah, he seems pretty dialed in, this Jeff Birmingham fellow. While we're on this topic, or before we start this topic, I got a quick topic about Mitt Romney. Now, Mitt Romney is the one that has decided to stab all his Utah constituents in the back and vote for witnesses in the president's impeachment trial. So let's blast Mitt Romney's phone and light up his phone, and let's tell him, hey, we're voting your butt out of office. Your hind parts are going to be gone if you vote for witnesses in this thing. I mean, he's done a lot of other crazy stuff too. I mean, he's just bad. He's horrible. I don't even know why we voted for him. I was a supporter of him for his presidential run, but that's because there was really no one else. I mean, you know, and so anyway, um, so his telephone number, his Utah office is 801 524 4380. That's 801 524 4380. And his Washington, D.C. number is area code 202 224 5251. Let's let's get after him and tell him he better pony up the vote for the non-witnesses and be on the side that he's supposed to be on, or he's gonna have to find another job come 2024. All right, let's get into this article here on Jeff Birmingham's response. Okay, so as I was saying before, we're going to get into this article on Jeff Birmingham's response to Representative Gibson on the tax reform. Um, it's this article was on Facebook, and it's from the Salt Lake Tribune. Okay, and I'll read you the article and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so just in case. House Minority Leader Francis Gibson said candidates for governor who criticized the tax reform bill have no clue what this bill was about. You know what? Brad Wilson, the Speaker of the House, has said that about his constituents. So this is an orchestrated attack on people for this tax reform bill that got defeated by referendum. The leadership at the Capitol has told us that if we only understood what they were trying to do, what they were trying to do, yeah, we would agree with them. They've said that two Harmons. They've said that to the referendum organizers, and they've said that to 150,000 plus Utahns who signed the referendum. They're wrong. Here's what we know. We know that two members of the task force who understood this issue best, Senator Bramble and Representative Quinn, opposed your plan, who you claim they also have no clue what this bill was about. So it looks like they did have some discontent and some disagreement about the tax bill, and these two, Wilson and Gibson, are just going around calling people stupid blanketly because they want this for some reason, probably for the money, and you know there's other people actually trying to give a damn and look at it. Pardon my language, but that's kind of what it's about. Um, we know that sales tax revenues the past 10 years have outpaced population growth and inflation combined. We know that the most recent TC23 has sales tax growth at 6.7%, and when you include the Medicaid tax, it's 10.3%. Remember the Medicaid tax, the one from before? So um, that goes back to what I was talking about in my previous episode, where we passed the Medicaid expansion and it came with a tax. And so they want the tax, but they don't want to give up the Medicaid. Um, and so we know population growth is at about 1.5% and inflation is at about 2.3%. 1.5% for me personally is too much. Stay in California. Don't bring your crap here. Okay, I mean I'm getting non-political. I just Utah's a beautiful state. We're a conservative state. I guess I am getting political, and I just don't want none of that liberal garbage here. And I'm going to tell it to you straight up at Rob Chronicles. I'm not going to dance around. I'm not going to cherry coat things. I am gonna keep it a little dialed down a little bit because this is a YouTube channel, and there could be young ones listening and stuff. So I'm not going to get into the explicitives, but yeah, that's too much. Californians are selling their houses for millions of dollars there in California, and then they come here and buy two or three houses. I mean, that's okay because that's their right to do it, but it's driving up the prices of housing here, and it's making people, hardworking people that are low income or medium income, they can't afford to rent a house or buy a house because of it. So that's just my opinion. So going back to the article, we know you tried to tell us the general fund is in crisis. So they're trying to say that they need tax money for the general fund. We know you used a chart showing taxable sales divided by personal income declining as the reason reform was necessary. See what I tell you. We also know anyone with a basic understanding of macroeconomics knows such a chart will always decline because people can't spend more money than they make. Actually, people can. The government does every day. We don't know. What we don't know is if you were ignorant of the fact or if you were intentionally misleading the people. Bam! Jeff Birmingham just like slammed it right there. Boom! Awesome. Awesome. I'm liking this guy more and more. We know discretionary spending has growth by more than 30% over the past 5 years, and if the governor's proposed budget is adopted, we will add another $789 million to discretionary spending over the ongoing years. Base appropriation, we know over this same time frame, the average wage earner has only seen wage gains of 15%, with many less than that. Utah, I mean, there's an abundance of jobs, but the job market is the job market is good, and you can go out and get a job, but the quality of job and the quality of pay for the job is horrible. So, some guy sloshing concrete is going to get maybe $9 or $10 an hour, where in Nevada or California or something they're getting 15, $16 an hour. So that's kind of the comparison that I think he's talking about in here. And once again, this is just my evaluation of the article and kind of my reaction. I don't normally do reaction to stuff, but this caught my eye, and I was like, hey, this sounds like a good topic to talk about. And once again, Mr. Birmingham is a candidate for governor, and he's pretty spot on some of this. So we know most of the tax reform bill was negotiated behind closed doors, and even members of the task force were often kept in the dark. Ooh, something's going on there. We know there weren't any public hearings on the final bill that was passed. Didn't they do something like that with the marijuana proposition? And they even did a special session for the Medicaid and marijuana propositions to alter that because they didn't like it. There's a pattern here going on, folks, and that is our elected officials in our state have so much contempt for us that they think they know better than us, we the people who put them in the office to entrust them with running our state and our state's finances. And these morons are like this. I mean, we really need to pay attention to our voting and who we vote in. I mean, look at Mitt Romney for crying out loud. I mean, this fella here, I mean, I don't know what ties. I personally don't know what ties he has to Utah. I really don't care. They say it's because of the LDS Church. I don't know, and I really don't care. But he burned whoever he used to get into that Senate seat, and he violates his oath and doesn't look out for his state. He looks out for Mitt Romney. Anyway, I'm going off on a tyrant on Mitt Romney because that's kind of one of my favorite subjects to talk about. So I'll get back into this article here by the Salt Lake Tribune on Jeff Birmingham's response to Gibson on tax reform. So it says, we know there weren't any public hearings on the final bill that was passed. We know well-intentioned lawmakers didn't even have time to read the bill before they voted on it. Oh, so they do that at the state level as well as the federal level. Remember Obamacare? Well, we got to pass the bill before we know what's in it. Whatever. We know bills passed in 2018 and 2019 will bring in hundreds of millions of new online sales tax revenues to the general fund. We know you did not inform the public of that fact when you were pushing for raising the sales tax on food. So they're sitting there calling us stupid and not understanding what the tax bill is and all that stuff. We don't know what we're doing, and this is better for the state and so on and so forth. But yet they're leaving out important information that we should know. So it's good that we pass on these type of informations because we're educating ourselves, and I encourage everyone to educate yourself. Education is the number one tool and the number one weapon against tyranny. We know you failed to act on correcting the dependent exemption. We know doing so raised taxes on large Utah families by hundreds of dollars. Families who have like 4 or more children are getting taxed. I mean, extra taxes and stuff. That's ridiculous. We know you could have given Utahns a much bigger break on income tax and still funded a healthy 5% increase in the WPU. You say you have no clue what this bill was about. Maybe next time you should take time to listen to your constituents and to your fellow lawmakers and read the bill. Read the bill before you pass it. Read the bill before you vote on it. When you get up to the legislature, and I'd like to say that I am running for the Utah House of Representatives for District 71, which is in the Hurricane area. So I'd appreciate your support. We gotta educate ourselves I mean, with anything, if we're entrusted to an office, if I'm entrusted to that office and I'm taking part in passing bills and passing laws for my state, I better understand what's going on. I better understand what's going on with that bill, how it's going to affect people, how it's not going to affect people, and what the ramifications are, both good and bad. Um, and it sounds like they have the ability to do that. Our representatives up there in the House of Representatives in Utah and Salt Lake, but they don't care. They don't care. They want their power. That's all that they care about is their power. So so anyway, this was Birmingham's response to that. Um, I hope you're following that whole tax referendum thing. There's other things that go off, um, like the income tax and other tax brackets and stuff like that. I did want to get into something about the real quick the Utah gun laws. So we do have several gun laws that are coming up that are being proposed, and a lot of them are being proposed by Democratic representatives. No figure, right? So we got, and I think I brought this up once before. We got House Bill 73, which gives serious jail time for the unknowingly and unintentionally interfering with a state agent. Nearly anything could be considered interference, and the result would be a Class A misdemeanor, putting the accused who may have possessed firearms at the time of the incident in even greater peril. Um, so basically, they're saying if you're a lot of these guys like to go down and film the cops and see what they're doing and try to capture some good video of abuse of power or whatever. And I mean, it's your constitutional right to go down, First Amendment right to go down and film. Um, I was a cop in the '90s, and we didn't really have all that going on, but people were watching. I mean, people always are watching. There's always somebody watching you do something, and you should just be aware of that. And as a former law enforcement officer, I support people who want to go out and check the police. I mean, that's the way that it should be done. But it should be done respectfully and safely, and you should not be in the scene of the officer when he's, like you shouldn't be right up in his grill rolling and stuff, on your camera, roll, roll, roll. You know, that should never be done, because then you put yourself, the officer, and the person that they're making contact with in jeopardy of whatever dangers that might be at hand. Um, so so if you want to film and stuff, I say go ahead and film all you want to. Just be safe about it and be considerate about it. It sounds like what this bill will do is it will um, add a stiff penalty to you. So if you get caught doing this, and the cop thinks, so well, I'll just get him for interference, um, because it's taken away really the burden of what interference is. Um, he can just put he interfered with me by doing this, and it's a blanket, it's a blanket thing that they can charge you with the misdemeanor for. It is a misdemeanor, but it's a Class A misdemeanor, and that might stop you from owning some forms of guns or getting your federal firearms license or whatever. So that's what they mean by putting the rights of gun owners in better peril, or in dangerous peril. House Bill 100, veteran disarmament courts. We should never have veterans disarmament courts. I mean, veterans do not leave our veterans alone, man. They go and they fight for our rights. They pay the ultimate price. So do law enforcement officers and first responders, because I'm a first responder and law enforcement officer, former law enforcement officer, and I suffer from PTSD as well. So, but some of these guys, they don't have limbs. They've sacrificed limbs. They've sacrificed a lot, and so they might just have more than the scars you can't see. Um, they some of them don't even come back, and and I think a police officer is just as equally important as a soldier when it comes to that. But anyway, uh, this expands veterans courts modeled directly after Soviet-style drug courts. These fraud courts empower court dictators, i.e., judges, prosecution teams, defense counsel, state agencies, and federal agencies to closely collaborate and cooperate as glorified social workers with a deadly political agenda. So basically, they're going to give the court, if there is one, um, if there is a veterans court, disarmament court, they're going to give them exuberance amount of power. I mean, just so much power that they're going to stack the deck against you as a veteran and try to take away your firearms. And that is the true definition of tyranny right there. Um, Once again, that's House Bill 100. Um, and then we have HJR 5, which is, they say it's a Trojan horse to destroy home and private schooling. After Utah Constitution from a public education system shall be open, it alters the Utah Constitution from a public education system to shall be open to all children of the state to a public education system shall provide an adequate education to all children of the state. This change would empower government agents to seize control of home and private school education, which was traditionally served as a bastion of support for the right to keep and bear arms. So I really don't know um, what their corresponding um, private homeschooling with the right to bear arms. I really don't understand that. This comes from UtahGunRights.com or UTGunRights.com. So you're welcome to go and look at it. I don't understand what they're saying there. But then there's Senate Bill 62, Gun Control by Bureaucrats, reauthorizes administrative rules created by unelected bureaucrats that have the same effect as gun control statutes. These rules include gun controls. So I don't know if that means expanded background checks. I know that there is a specific one that there's a specific bill on this list that does want expanded background checks. I don't know if that's the one or not. But bureaucrats should never be dictating gun policy or citizens' rights policies at all. That you're a bureaucrat. You're just told to do something. You do it and you move on. And the elected officials are the ones that are responsible for that because they pay the price at the ballot box. So a bureaucrat should just be doing what they're told to do and move along. So House Bill 102 is triggered regimen snowflakes feel threatened when they feel threatened. Any person who sends or causes to be sent any form of communication to a judge, law enforcement officer, investigator, public servant, or prosecuting attorney that is threatening, and they've got it in quotes, or designed to interfere with or impede the investigation, prosecution, conviction, or punishment of an individual is falls in the statute. What does threatening mean? Whatever the state wants it to mean. So this bill and the other bill, the House Bill 73, are kind of the same in nature. Only this one kind of, I mean, they shouldn't have said snowflakes and stuff. I mean, there are snowflakes out there, and I feel sorry for those type of people. But anybody can feel threatened and offended by anything, and you don't have to be a snowflake, I guess is what I'm getting at. So Senate Bill 33, Big Brother must always track your private firearms, makes it a third-degree felony to alter or remove identifying marks on a firearm or be in possession of a firearm on which the identifying marks have been removed or altered. Modern police have ballistics to match bullets to perpetrators. So we know that we know that the police have the capability of doing that. This is kind of a a no-brainer. I mean, common sense here with this bill. I mean, if you're truly a, in my opinion, if you're truly a gun owner that follows the rules and wants to obey the laws, but yet enjoy the right to own and bear arms, you're not going to alter a weapon. I mean, you're going to alter it. I mean, by maybe adding cool stocks to it or something like that. But you're not gonna violate the law willingly anyway to to alter your weapon. I mean, that's ridiculous. And that the way that they've written that is like it's triggering. Uh, it it's not triggering. It's going after uh, gun owners, legal gun owners. And then the last one, and then we'll shut down Rob Chronicles for this episode, is House Bill 109, requiring federal regimen permission to transfer private firearms. This is your universal background checks. This is the one where um, they call it another Democrat feel-good bill. It's mostly all Democrats on this list that these bills were submitted for, so they can tell their effeminate effeminate snowflake supporters they tried, and Republicans can pretend their gun control bills aren't so treacherous. So it gives the Rhino Republicans an out too. It doesn't really say what it is, but I mean you can basically tell private sales. They're going after gun owners and the website, the online sales and stuff is what they're going after on that one. Um, so uh, yeah, let's be vigilant. Let's be vigilant with our rights. Let's be cautious of those who are running for office. I mean, even cautious of me. I said I'm a candidate for the Utah House of Representative, um, District 71. Uh, just I urge everyone to be cautious, be vigilant, and educate yourself. And go ahead and comment and tell me what you like. I'm still looking for topics from my people that chime in and watch Rob Chronicles, and I hope that we can grow this page more and like and support me if you do, and if not, we'll just thank you for stopping by anyway. So take care.